Down the side of the container were 3 gouges raked through the metal, which was peeled back like the rind of some bitter fruit. The furrows were a foot apart. No animal I know of could do that, Doc said. Look at the edges. Not sharp, like claws. They're serrated. A coldness that had nothing to do with the mountain air moved through me. I followed the scent and the line of Doc's gaze around the container, and we saw where the men of Kilo 7 had gone. They were piled in the long shadow of a HESCO barrier. All 68 of them were the parts that remained. Bodies were unmade with a hunger that knew nothing of mercy or war. Limbs torn from their sockets. Torsos cracked open like seed pods and scoured clean. These men had not been killed. They had been butchered. They had been fed upon. I had seen what bombs and bullets do to the bodies of men, but this was a new and darker testament. This was not the work of any man. Doc Miller turned and was sick in the sand. Wallace stood a statue of disbelief, his face the color of bleached stone. Even Rico was silent, his hand a white-knuckled claw upon the stock of his weapon. What in God's name? Wallace said. My eyes followed a dark and clotted path in the sand that led away from the carnage. It did not lead to the gate. It led straight for the sheer rock of the mountain that stood judgment over us all. And there, held in the shadow of an overhang, was a black negation in the stone. A cave. The smell was stronger there. Deacon, you see this? My own voice sounded like a stranger's. I see it, Sarge. A cave mouth. The drag marks lead right to it. And the truth of it settled on me. The answer was not in the outpost. The answer was in that black and waiting hole. Whatever had done this had come down from the mountain, and it had dragged its prizes home. We can't go in there, Wallace said, his voice a brittle thing he had just found. We should report back. Call in an airstrike. Level the whole damn mountain. The colonel's orders were to assess. Lieutenant, I said, and every true and terrified part of me clamored to agree with the boy. We don't know what we're dealing with. If it's a new kind of biological agent, bombing it could spread it for miles. We need intel. Jake's right. Deacon's voice came over the radio, a steady thread to the world of the sun. We don't go in blind, but we have to look. I'll stay on overwatch. I can see the entrance from here. And so the judgment was passed. We readied ourselves in a kind of grim sacrament, swapping our rifles for the close-quarters weapons that would prove to be little more than folk magic against such a dark. I took up the shotgun, and we hung upon our bodies every grenade we carried. With Deacon as our anchor to the world of light, we four walked to the cave. At its mouth the air turned its back on the sun, and the heat was leached from your skin by a cold that had been waiting there for a very long time. The darkness within was a solid thing, a wall of absolute black that drank the beams of our weapon lights and gave nothing back. Rico, your point.